A nation in crisis. Prices soaring, currency collapsing, protests in the streets. Then, a plane lands. Out steps a group of calm-suited economists from Washington, D.C. They promise salvation, billions in loans, instant stability, a path to prosperity. But what if this rescue comes with invisible chains? What if every helping hand hides a grip of control? Today, we uncover how the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, became one of the most powerful forces in global economics, without firing a single shot. After World War II, the world wanted peace, trade, and stability. So 44 nations met in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, to design a new global order. The IMF was born, a financial lifeguard meant to rescue economies drowning in crisis. But over time, that mission evolved. Today, 190 countries are members, but not all are equals. The IMF lends money to struggling nations. But the real power lies in the conditions. Strict economic policies countries must obey in exchange for the loans. Think of it like a doctor who gives you medicine, but also takes control of your diet, your job, even your home. Here's how it works. When a country faces a crisis, say its currency is collapsing or it can't repay foreign debt, it goes to the IMF. The IMF offers a bailout, but only if the country agrees to something called structural adjustment programs. These programs often demand cutting government spending, yes, even on healthcare and education, selling off state-owned industries, deregulating markets, opening the economy to foreign investors. On paper, it sounds like discipline and reform. In practice, it often means austerity, where the poor pay the price for elite mismanagement. Imagine being told, "We'll help your family pay rent, but first, fire half your workers and sell your furniture." That's how the IMF's medicine can feel to nations in distress. The 1980s and 1990s became the IMF's golden era of intervention, from Latin America to Africa to Asia. In 1997, the Asian financial crisis hit. Indonesia, Thailand, and South Korea turned to the IMF for emergency loans. The result? Factories closed, millions lost jobs, and protests erupted. In Indonesia, the IMF demanded the end of fuel subsidies. Overnight, the price of basic goods doubled. Riots followed. Even Nobel laureate Joseph Stiglitz accused the IMF of enforcing one-size-fits-all policies that punished the poor. And yet, the IMF didn't back down. Instead, it became more embedded in how developing nations operate, often rewriting their economic playbooks entirely. This wasn't charity, it was leverage. Fast forward to today. Countries like Pakistan, Argentina, Ghana, and Sri Lanka are once again at the IMF's door. The IMF's story isn't one of pure evil or pure good. It's a mirror reflecting the imbalance of global finance, a world where nations in crisis must trade sovereignty for survival. Maybe the real question isn't whether the IMF is corrupt, but whether the global financial system itself was designed to keep the powerful on top. Because in the end, control doesn't always come from armies or borders. Sometimes it comes from debt. The script hasn't changed much. Loans come with strings. Raise taxes, cut subsidies, sell state assets, But the outcomes? Spiraling inflation, unrest, and weakened national sovereignty. Meanwhile, critics point out that the IMF is dominated by the wealthiest nations. The US holds 17% of the voting power, enough to veto major decisions. So while the IMF speaks of global cooperation, many see it as a tool of economic imperialism. The paradox? Without the IMF, many economies would collapse entirely. But with it, they're locked into perpetual dependence. And this isn't just about money, it's about power, the ability to dictate how nations live, trade, and even dream. The new colonialism doesn't wear military uniforms, it wears business suits. So what do you think? Is the IMF saving the world, or quietly owning it? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories the textbooks left out.